Since I'm stuck at home with COVID and currently on antivirals, I thought, let's make a video about how antivirals work. So first, what the hell is a virus? Well, really simply, it's basically genetic instructions that try to replicate using some host. And since they're not able to form their own energy or replicate themselves, this is where the antivirals come in. See, first it has to invade the host cell, then it injects its RNA, the instructions to make virus, into that cell. Then the cell needs to actually create the proteins that make up the virus, and then finally those proteins get assembled into new virus, and that exits the cell. So the first class of antivirals are fusion inhibitors, drugs that prevent the virus from even fusing with and entering a cell, and we see a lot of these used in, for example, HIV treatment. The next are called reverse transcriptase inhibitors, and basically these stop the viral RNA from translating into DNA in the first place, but after it has entered the cell. The next are called integrase inhibitors. These are drugs that let the virus RNA turn into DNA, but then in the actual cell, it doesn't get translated to allow for actual replication of the virus. And then finally, we get what are called protease inhibitors, which basically means the virus can replicate its proteins in the cell, but they can't actually be assembled and turned into new virus at the very end. So Paxlovid, for example, which is being used for COVID, is a protease inhibitor. And molnupiravir, which is also used for COVID, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right at all, is a reverse transcriptase inhibitor. But the takeaway, I think, is that we have these different places where we can act on the virus, and depending on the specific virus, we might pick one over the other or a combination. In particular, if a virus mutates so that it's immune, for example, to being blocked from entering the cell, or if it notices, as some viruses do, that it has been interfered with in replication and can then sort of go a different route, you might do something further down the line to sort of trick the virus into thinking it's been successful and then stopping it just at the very end. And that's also why you can't expect to just have one big magic antiviral, but rather, similar to antibiotics, different ones that will target different kinds of virus. And by the way, a huge amount of the information we have is actually a result of the decades of amazing research that was done to help with HIV. All right, I need to go lie down again.